Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm going to do a quick video. I'm Blackbright, of course, broadcasting out the UK. As usual, if you're used to my videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that I'm just information sharing. I'm not an expert. Okay, I'm going to talk quickly about Amnesty this morning because there are rumours going around about Amnesty. Amnesty is a controversial subject because, on the one hand, if you grant people amnesty, you're actually endorsing the fact that they've come over here illegally, and you're actually rewarding them for coming over here illegally. On the other hand, granting people amnesty means there's less crime. It lowers the criminal figures, and you know, people who are called illegal are bound to feel uncomfortable with that term. They're bound to feel like criminals, and psychologically it's not good. It means they have to be ducking and diving, which is not nice. In 1983, you couldn't penalise or deny any person, regardless of their status, access to schools or hospitals. They were allowed, and it was forbidden not to accept undocumented people into schools and into hospitals. I think that is why the UK have written into law or written into the agreement when immigrants apply to come into the UK, no recourse to public funds, because they can't forbid them from doing it. But by asking them to sign no recourse to public funds, they're actually getting their agreement not to access the funds and, you know, the schools and stuff like that, and the hospital. And instead, in fact, they actually charged them the NHS surcharge for accessing the hospitals. So anyway, putting that aside, the big amnesty that Ronald Reagan put out in 1986, that regularized 3.2 million, I believe, in the US of A. And it reduced crime by 3.5%. In Ireland, 4th of November last year, they actually, I think they actually put out an amnesty for international students who came into Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, between 2005 and 2010. So students who came and were undocumented within that period were given amnesty. International students who came after 2010, they could only remain in the country for 7 years. Geneva, they gave amnesty to 70,000 people. It can be done. But for the UK, they're not going to do it. They're too self-righteous. They're going to look at it as a kick in the teeth. They're going to look at it as, oh yes, if we give them amnesty, these people are going to think we're soft. They're going to think we're stupid. They're going to step on our toes. They're going to disrespect us. So instead, what the UK have done is they're giving a non-visa status to all but 5 Commonwealth countries. The 5 Commonwealth countries are, let me get them here, are Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia and Ghana. Those 5 countries are still going to require a visa, but all the other ones, it's a proposal at this point, but I think that that's their way of getting around the amnesty. You know, it makes them feel dignified and not taking the pee out of. What else do I need to say very quickly before I go to work? Trump now plans a 1.8 to give amnesty to 1.8 million, majority of them being children who came with undocumented parents, and in a trade-off for funding the border wall. If he does that for the children, what happens to the parents? Is it another way of separating the parents, the children and the parents? I mean, who's going to really want that? How does that benefit the children if they're being regularized, but their parents are not unless the children can file for their parents? And I reckon that's going to be a lot of rigmarole as well. Spain, I think they had an amnesty. So there are quite a few countries doing it now, and it does save a lot, and it does improve the well-being of the staff. I mean, they're talking about public good. Anybody who says in the country must be for the public good. But if people are working and contributing, that is for the public good, isn't it? I mean, you know, a lot of people might say it's not for the public good because what an immigrant is actually taking away what they're entitled to. It all depends on the mindset and the framework of the individual. The reason why Ireland agreed to the amnesty, it was the move followed Supreme Court judgment that former holders of student permission were entitled to have their family and privacy rights under European Convention of Human Rights taken into account as part of their application to retain. So I guess that's going to become a precedent and can be used in case law. Yeah, I think that's all. Once again, why I don't think the UK is going to grant amnesty. Apparently there's a petition going around. It needs 100,000 signatures. Those signatures will have to be of documented and regularised persons. So there's no point undocumented people signing them, as it's a waste of time. There's not enough staff. Yeah. And also, why the UK are not going to want to grant amnesty is because it's going to mean that these people that they grant amnesty to can file for their parents and their immediate relatives. And that's going to increase the net migration. So anyway, I did say it was going to be quick. I hope it's still useful and relevant to whatever you're doing in your life. Take care for now. Bye-bye. Now, how do I shut this off? I've got to go to work and this isn't working. Ciao.